Back in the day, J Kid was the man, boy. Put the team on his back like a gym sport. D-Lo with the dribble drive handoff, pick and roll, full contact. This is a man sport. County of Kings, really the Kingsborough. You know Crown Heights, so you know that sound right. Brooklyn Bridges, Z-Dub defending. The Brooklyn Block Party claps and double digits. Got the Barclays clicking, the whole block is with it. Left a lot on the table, now we coming to get it. The shook one's gone, we too Brooklyn strong. Can't stop, won't stop from the Brooklyn block. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N, 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 B-R-O-O-K, we well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N.
That hit. Cam Thomas.
Just give me the ball, I'm fitting the score next. My J is all net, me and Jay just all next. Getting back on defense, hit him with strong flex. I'm official like a ref, trying not to get attacked. And we go hard on Brooklyn, that's a promise. Watch me like a Cam, cause it's my time. Make sure watch me like a Cam, cause it's my time. Switch, they can't guard me, especially side the Barclays. Spin between crosses, I can score with both hands. Midi flawless, and I get to play like an artist. I'm a boss smith, so you should respect my handle. I see the big picture with the Nets like a mantle. In the future, I see us as champs too. And when we do, I'ma do a Brooklyn dance move. Disturb that or Millie rock like a FanDuel. And that's a bet like my parlay on FanDuel.
B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N, B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N, B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N.
When you establish a culture, that's where you do.
Yo, Nets fans is the best fans. Is Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Latrell Music, Claude Smith, People Hernandez. Come on down. Jamal and Franchise. Peoples and Claude, man. Please keep it clean, man. Yeah, Quarter Zips or Nike Tech. Yeah, Nike Tech in the chat right now, man. I need y'all to quarter zip it, you know what I'm saying? I need y'all to quarter zip it, you know what I mean? Y'all Nike Tech in it right now, you know what I mean? Bill Johnson. Shout out to all of us, man, you know what I mean? Let's get Happy New Year, Barry. Word. Shout out to I want to give a special thank you to the members of the page, you know what I'm saying? Maria Signal Mall, Chelio, Marcus, Nets DNA, Beeman Boy, Joey BK, Cooney Jean Philippe, GIHF _ Carter, Brooklyn LM, Mr. Seahorse, and J Noel 24. Vergus Groovy, Happy New Year. Mo Beezy, Happy New Year. Yeah, that was a rough game for sure, Vergus Groove. Or Virgo's Groove for sure. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was hard to watch. It ain't really look like we had a chance the entire game. Shout out to the whole entire chat. Shout out to everybody watching. Let's call it what it is. This game was ugly from the start for the most part. I wanted to see Drake Powell start. I wanted to see Nolan start. But what we see, you know, we see a slow start from the offense. And I seen Danny Wolf play defense. That was the one thing that I did want to highlight. Zaire Williams looked like he fighting for playing time. He played well. Conley played a little bit of defense. I seen some of that. They challenged Sagoon. Sagoon is tough, though. You know what I mean? Drake Powell, still to me, underwhelming on the offensive side of the ball. He got a dunk. It didn't really count for much, but it was nice to see. 1 for 4 at the 3-point line. You know, I need to see more aggression. You know what I'm saying? Danny Wolf took more shots to him. Nolan Traore took 8 shots. Nolan Traore just started getting minutes, and he already taken around the same amount of, almost the same amount of shots as Drake Powell. Nolan Traore, Ben Seraph, Diego Doman are all more offensively in sync than Drake Powell. I know y'all say Drake Powell is such an athlete, but this is the first time I've seen him in an end game dunk. He has to be more aggressive to play in this league. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to see more from Drake Powell. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? Um, Danny Wolf didn't shoot. Danny Wolf didn't shoot well. You know what I'm saying? He was 1 for 4 at the 3-point line, 4 for 10 from the field. But he impacted the game. Just because he don't shoot well, like you always say, oh, it's the other things. Danny Wolf does the other things. You know what I'm saying? So I like Danny Wolf as a player. I want to see more pick and rolls. I feel like it was more ISOs in this offense tonight. We could have been more pick and rolls. It could have been more pick and pops. We could have played together more. We look for the 3 a lot, but yeah, I just thought we could have did more. I think we could have fed Dayron Sharp more too. He was looking good out there. You know what I'm saying? He had 7 assists. I mean, he played this game. He played 19 minutes. He had 8 points, 8 boards, 7 assists. That's a pretty good game. What's the plus minus on that? -2? That's crazy. Wow. Oh man, Cam Thomas 8 for 13, 21 minutes, 23 minutes, 21 points, almost points to minutes. They're talking about the assist turnover ratio. Look at Cam Thomas point minute ratio. 23 minutes, 21 points, 3 for 7 from the 3-point line. He knocks down so that's 5 from the field. He get more 2-pointers than 3-pointers. I'll tell y'all that all the time. But he took more. His shots was from the 3-point line. His game is inside out. It's from inside the 3-point line, then outside the 3-point line. They developed him, and from rookie season to now, to play outside the 3-point line. He struggles with that, but again, I want them to put more emphasis on him getting downhill. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna be long-winded either, man. I'm about to throw the link in the chat. I see Brooklyn LM in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, I just wanted to say my piece on the minutes that was shared, Nolan Traore, he gotta, I don't know. I want him to play better, I want him to play better, but he gotta have a better stat line than that. And the eye test showed me that he still need work, you know what I'm saying, finishing at the rim. But he'll get it. He'll get it. Shout to Jamal the franchise. Oh, word? Yo, this my guy right here, man. Shout to Jamal the franchise. I'm about to throw the link in the chat. I'm not even going to cover this content until you come on the panel, bro. So you got to join the panel so we can talk about it. You already know what it is. Nets fans is the best fans. KD says Cam Thomas has a bright future. I heard about that. I wonder if that's the content he talk about. We're gonna find out. We're gonna hear from Nets fans, Nets world. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know. I'm gonna let the members speak first. If the members come on the panel first and y'all all get here together, I'm letting the members go first. It gotta be that way, you know what I'm saying? I gotta give privileges to the members, but shout out to everybody that joined the panel. Shout out to the chat. You already know what's the word. Yeah, man, but this was a pretty good game. I mean, for the Houston Rockets. But it was a good experience, I imagine, for the rookies with their first start. Talk to us, Brooklyn LM. What you think this ultimately did for Drake Powell and started tonight? How you feel about it?
I mean, they got their runs, they rookies, so they gotta go through the mud, man. They gotta go through the ringer, and this is what you're gonna get with them. Hopefully, all you really can hope for at this point in time is just, they take this game and they learn from it. But necessarily, I'm not really harping on the rookies tonight. I just think they gotta Wolf definitely gotta get back in his grind, um, get back into, what he was doing. I think he probably just hit his wall. Um, but I mean, this is to be expected. You got your best scorer out. You got Terrence Mann out. You got Yegor out. So, you know, the offense pretty much came from CT tonight, which, um, they still managing him. They don't want to bring, I guess they don't want to bring him back too quickly. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is what they need. This is the growing pains that they need as a team. So, hopefully they learn from it and they don't take this on the head and be like, oh, we trash and none of that. Like they learn from it, hone on their game, and add to it tomorrow in the next one. Like that's all you can really hope for from the rookies for real.
Oh, can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can
All right, John, talk to us, man. Drake Powell got his first start tonight, man. How you felt about it?
Yeah, I've been saying he should have started for weeks. Same with Wolf. Listen, I'm excited they got the opportunity tonight. I just didn't know the roles they were getting when the starting lineup came out. I'm like, Drake Powell at the one. I thought we talked about Nolan and Powell being the backcourt. I think a lot of people thought that was going to be what's going into it tonight. But instead, it's Drake Powell and Zaire. And I'm like, okay, so Drake Powell is now the point guard, which is a role he's not used to. And then Danny Wolf, he was playing like the 2, the 3, the 4 element. You know how many roles Wolf was playing tonight on the court? Like it felt like sensory overload for both those guys because this is what Jordy wants, right? Positionless basketball. Drake, you're a 2. You should be able to be a 1. Wolf, you should be a 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on matchups. So I felt like they were both overwhelmed, having to do all those roles, especially being underhand against a Rockets team that looked like a bunch of quarterbacks out there going against us. But they had some moments towards the end. Wolf had some interior plays where they had a drive against Kevin Durant and I think Jabari Smith. Like he was trying to get back, like Elam said, to what he was doing offensively. And then Drake Powell, mixed bag, but in the fourth quarter, he had a great defensive steal on Amon Thompson, which was that dunk type play that he had. Listen, it wasn't a great night for both of them, but this is what it's about right now this next few months, about letting these rookies get as much playing time as possible to be challenged to a higher level to see if they'll bend or break or they'll become future cornerstone pieces. And this was their first experience in the starting lineup for both of them. So for the most part, they handled a lot of adversity, like Elam said, but I think this is a good learning experience for them. Like in order to beat the best, you're gonna have to get your ass kicked by the best. And hopefully you don't stay down on your laurels. You say next day up, I know what I gotta fix. So I'm glad that they both got the opportunity. But Jordy definitely he definitely put him on a tightrope tonight, having to play these different roles that I don't think they were expecting to play. But that's a challenge. So hopefully they learn from it. And yeah, we were on demand tonight. Zaire, he had decent performance. We don't know if he's a trade chip or not, but he did have 5 steals, so he still brings a defensive energy. Just not sure if he's a legitimate part of the future. And then Dayron was one of our best bench pieces tonight, 8, 8, and 7. Like he was definitely giving you some physical energy because they didn't have Steven Adams available. But mostly it was a mixed bag. Cam Thomas had his 21 points, 1 assist only, but they were double teaming Cam a lot tonight. I did see a lot of plays. He was getting double teamed a lot, wasn't really working through him a lot, and just felt like Cam was trying to find his buckets. And Jordy was taking him out a lot tonight. And then Cam's comments after the show.
What's up with that? Yeah, like well, but hold on. What I will say, John, it's a minute restriction. Again, he played 20 minutes the first 2 games. Tonight was the most minutes with 23 minutes. They like gradually increasing his minutes. So again, that's something that I'm watching, because when he hit those 2 threes in the fourth quarter, I'm like, what you take him out for? But
right.
It's got to be minutes restriction, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But it's also the backcourt of Cam and Nolan. Because, like, if you want to experiment against bad teams, okay, but against best teams like Rockets who have the physical advantage, I guess Jordan didn't like how the backcourt was playing. But at the end of the day, you got to let them get reps and see what they can do. But it was Cam's comments after the show where they asked him if he's secure in the role that he's doing. Cam says no comment. And just as much as, like, we want to see them try to figure this out, it just feels like the timing is against Cam and his team. And I think for Cam, he's just like, I'm going to play when I'm going to play, and I'll just live with the results. but his front office probably didn't like to hear that because now people are speculating, oh, is Cam unhappy? We all kind of know the situation. It's just be interesting to see if anything gets amplified because Jordy keeps saying Cam's got to play better defense, but it's like, what you can expect? Cam is undersized. Defense is not his game. Like, you have to put pieces to try to hide that from Cam instead of expecting the same thing.
But
So
John,
I thought that was
bro,
interesting.
right, but
Yes.
we'll go to Peoples just to go around the panel because we got shout out to John and Brooklyn LM though. We got Peoples, Jamal the franchise on the panel, and we got Gary on the panel. So I just for the sake of just going around the panel because everybody didn't talk yet, but you know how we do, John. Shout out to
Yeah,
John. But
yeah. Just to end real quick
Yeah,
on my soliloquy. Like, at the end of the day, we know what January is about. It's a business month. We kind of know where everybody's at. It'll be interesting to see what phones start ringing. But I think the Nets are in a good position where we can protect that pick going forward. It'll just be interesting to see where the pieces fall. But I'll pass the ball on that note.
yeah. I don't want to digress and continue the soliloquy. Go ahead, people. Talk to us. What you seeing out there tonight, bro?
What's good, my guy?
Chilling, man. Just talking basketball. What's the
Happy
word?
New Year's, y'all.
Happy New Year's, peoples.
Go looking out. I'm not down with the celebrations, all that, but off topic, I'm saying? I was all the way in South Jersey, breezy, you know what I'm saying? Like one of them last stops, one of them uppity people with them sedity people. And my people told me, like, yo, make sure you grab them, sick outfit or some shit like that, telling me, trying to make me like, yo, I'm thinking like it's gonna be some fly people over there. But that's the different kind of white people, that be wearing a Billabong jacket. And I showed
Was
up,
you
but
with
I
them
was the
when they watched
Flyers.
the Nets game?
I was the Flyers, my guy.
But did you
already-
watch the Nets game? Did you watch the Nets
Fact.
game?
Oh, yeah. I kind of went, on and off and shit in the game, but something was up. All of a sudden, motherfuckers didn't play. Something's coming. Cause I think the Nets realize, like, oh shit, we the worst record got a 5-game ahead of us. Let's stop. Let's maybe trying to stop it now. We got to try to change this shit right now. I don't know. Something has to happen because Nets can't risk it no more. Like the top four, whatever, top 5 pick, they can't risk it, breezy. I just know. But the
Listen,
main reason I wanted to get on
peoples,
on the stream.
Yeah, go ahead, people.
Oh, my bad. The reason I just want to shout out to all the Nets haters, all of them. Shout out to like Pac. I want to shout out to Faith, that kind of way. I want to shout out to all the Nets haters, all the real Nets haters, the secret agents, and the out the closet ones. Everybody. I know there's a lot of Nets haters, man. I know there's so many.
So yeah, that's it. They don't get no more airplay than that. You know what I mean?
Facts, please, breezy, please. And one more thing. Everybody knows. I know Jordy didn't, say nothing to what's the name, Udoka and all that. But that shit was that shit's gonna come back. Karma. Minute 28 seconds left. You still had the starters. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's why Nets didn't hire you, because they know who you are, E-Man. They know who you are, yo. And the Nets got nobody in the starting lineup. You know what I mean? From the get-go, you're gonna play your starters all the way, all your starters against. They show on the Twitter on the Twitter that last 4 minutes or whatever. I guess somebody put it up on the Twitter. It was like, what a shame, yo. What a shame. And on the Nets Daily too, on the comments, it was like Rockets is gonna come back to y'all. Yeah, first or second round bounce out. You'll see. KD gonna go home. You'll see again. But go ahead. Next one. Whoever's next. It's all right, man. When we get the number 1 pick, everybody gonna cry. All the Nets haters gonna cry. You'll see. Breezy. You'll see, man.
I appreciate you.
No doubt. No, that's it. But Happy New Year, Breezy. You're my guy. Wish you was there, with me. I had fat, gorillas rolled up.
We gonna get to that.
No doubt, my guy. No doubt.
Oh, shout out to peoples. We're gonna go to Jamal the franchise. This is the content he was talking about. We're gonna listen to the content and then Jamal is gonna react to it. We're gonna react to it. But we're gonna go to Jamal first. This is Kevin Durant. And how you feel about Cam Thomas?
What do you think about Cam? Obviously, ex-teammate of yours, and kind of his future in the league.
Can y'all hear
Yeah, I
it?
mean, I feel like Cam has
Yeah.
a bright future, and it just takes somebody to believe in his talent and his skill. I mean, scorers and guys that score the basketball at a high rate, they get taken for granted in this league a bit. I mean, we so used to loving defenders and playmakers and guys that can be connectors. And sometimes scorers get taken for granted, and so hopefully somebody takes a chance on Cam and gives him what he deserves and puts the ball in his hands and builds around him and let him grow into a player. Because what is he, 24? Still got a lot of time in this league to keep getting better. So, hopefully a team, put some trust in him.
What do you think about Cam? Obviously,
Yo,
ex-teammate
talk
of
to us,
yours,
Jamal. What
kind
you
of
think
his
about
future.
what Katie said
Yeah.
about Cam Thomas, bro? Talk to us.
He ain't saying nothing we ain't been saying. It's just it's just sad that he's on another team and he's saying the bullshit now. Like he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he probably figured when he left the door was gonna be more open for CT, and it actually closed. So, but look, my profile picture says it all. CT need to do what my profile picture says. Like you need to go get the strap, and just start airing shit out. Just start airing it out because they're gonna do him dirty. I don't know if you saw what Jody said about him also, but it's just, and I said that to you too, but it's just like, come on now, enough is enough. He should have been starting tonight.
You know where this is going, Jamal. You know where it's going, my guy.
Yeah, I know where it's going. Like the writing is on the wall already. It's already on the wall.
Just from
gone.
he's
He outta
saying no
here.
comment in the post
Huh?
game. When he said no comment in the post game, the
Yeah, because
vibes.
it's like
The vibes. The
it's
vibes
like people
already.
want him to say the politically correct thing to feed their ego. Let's be real.
No, I'm
He's
talking
a
about
young-
the Cam Thomas and the next.
No, I know.
Whole
I'm saying-
management, the vibes.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like everybody mad at him because he said the no comment thing, but it's like, what you want him to say? You want him to be honest? Because when he's honest, y'all don't like him more. So he just said, you know what?
No, he can't
no
be
comment.
honest. No, because they're gonna bury him. The New York,
Exactly.
New York
He
media
just said no
gonna bury
comment.
him.
You know what's interesting about the Kevin Durant? You know what's interesting about the Kevin Durant thing? I put my GM cap on and texted him on Twitter saying, "KD, if you mean all the things you say about Cam, you got 2027 first. Let's do some business." So I got my GM cap on and some negotiations with Kevin Durant on Twitter, guys. Let me just see if he actually responds.
All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let's go to Jamal franchise again, and then pass it to Gary after that. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, that was pretty much it. Is the writing is on the wall. I feel bad for CT because at the end of the day, he's a talented kid. He's a talented scorer. Nobody on this team today was getting double teamed but him. Nobody.
One thing that grinded my gears is seeing the Nolan Troyere run away from the double. Like they trapping Cam Thomas and he just run away. Like, yo, turn around and help me, man. What did you do?
Get the ball from me.
Like, why you run away and let them trap me, man? That's not cool. We supposed to be teammates. And Jordy Fernandez, my thing is what I don't like about him, they make it seem like all right, so let's just listen to the content, Jamal. We're gonna pass it to Gary when you're done. But we're gonna let him respond, and then we're gonna go continue from there. All right, this is Jody Fernandez on Cam Thomas.
Offensive process out there tonight.
Yeah, pretty efficient game offensively. Not so much with the turnovers. Right there, gotta be cleaner. And then the defensive end gotta be more solid with coverages and so on and so forth. But good scoring punch with the minutes that he's playing right now. And the most important thing is how his body responds now after all these games. Now third game in, which is important for what he's gone through. And so far happy with obviously his superpower is the scoring, but once again, I need better defense. I need better playmaking.
You saw.
Like he ain't had to add that shit in. Like you just added salt to the. Yeah, to the
Right.
wall. Like, come on, bro. You could have talked to him on the side about that shit.
I mean, how
Right.
long Horton been saying that though? You've been saying
Yeah,
that
we
for
say
the
it for
past few
months
seasons.
about
Yeah,
Horton.
but
He
you know what
said
it
for
is, LM. If I'm in a negotiation, a contract negotiation, you just throwing salt in the wound, bro. Like, how you
but
want me to respect you?
There
I
ain't
don't know if it's
negotiations. It's a qualifying offer.
Yo,
I don't think
Yeah,
it's gonna
but
real
I
make
quick,
mean,
yo, you know
I
what?
don't think it's gonna like
Hold on,
Cam though. Like,
no, we gotta go to Gary. But let me say this before we go to Gary. My thing is the schemes, not just Cam Thomas, because I was going to say that too. It was Danny Wolf too. He was putting Danny Wolf and Cam Thomas in ISO situations. You're talking about you got to be a playmaker. You want him to break the defense down where everybody playing 5 and out. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, a 5 and out is when you get two of your teammates go to the corner, so the other two go to the elbow, and they just expect you to run ISO. Like, bro, it's no way you could play make from that offense. Nobody's doing no PNRs. Nobody's doing no pick and pops, no PNRs. Where's the playmaking supposed to come from? Where's the slash into the basket? Where's the screens and the back screens? If none of this stuff is happening, if Jordy Fernandez is not making X's and O's where none of these things are happening, then you asking him to play make from an ISO position. And as a head coach, you better than that, Jordy Fernandez. You could definitely give him a play. You definitely could run a play. Like, just because his superpower is scoring doesn't mean you should exploit it by not helping him score just because he can score. But Gary, talk to us. What you thought about when
Breezy, can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The whole defense tonight was ass. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, let me get on that. The whole defense was ass is an understatement. To put that on Cam Thomas, there was one guy on the Nets who had a plus or minus. Do you know who it was?
CT.
CT. Yeah. Everybody else was like minus 20. He was a plus 2. He was 8 for 13, I think. The rest of the team shot 41% and 26% from 3. You want him to play make more? So you want him to take less shots, and you want Nolan Traore to take more shots? He's the only guy that can put the ball in the basket. Nobody was playing defense. What up, BC? I don't understand what you want from the guy. He played 20.
Clowney did have a block tonight, though. We gotta give him credit for that.
All right,
He did have Clowney had a block.
Right, cool.
So I'll give him
He was
credit.
ass on offense. Ass. Ass on defense.
They play more
I don't
defensive
understand what
parts.
they.
Got it.
I don't understand what they want from him. What did you want? I mean, you're gonna put the defensive performance on Cam Thomas? Like that's ridiculous.
He's
like,
6'3", man.
I'm not saying he was good defensively. He wasn't. But did we lose today because Cam Thomas sucked defensively? Is that why we lost today?
We lost because the Rockets are physical. We lost because it's a physical team. That's why.
Gary, and again, just to get past narratives, another thing that happens too is Jordy Fernandez only lets Cam Thomas in the game after we down by 10. Like, once you see that we can't score the ball and we down by 4 or 6 points, yeah, that's acceptable. But you put Cam Thomas in the hole by waiting until we down by 10. Now you expect him to come and do some incredible, amazing shit. I think that's corny. Look, when he came in the game, the first thing he did, Gary, was make an assist. I forget the who, but they knocked down the shot. I think the Danny Wolf for 3.
It was Wolf. It was Wolf. Yeah.
And then after that,
Kings lost.
I think he scored. I think he scored the ball. He missed. He caught 2 free throws, so he had like 4 points and 1 assist. And then what I'm saying is, I'm watching the offense because I'm watching the game. I'm not gonna say through the lens of Cam Thomas like I used to, but more of like, well, how are they implementing him? When is he getting touches? After he got the 4 points, they went away from Cam Thomas. They tried to find offense through Nolan Traore, and they tried to find offense through Noah Clowney. Now, what I'm saying is, those are dry spots. We were finding offense through Day'Ron Sharpe. Like, who would have thought? But the Day'Ron Sharpe has 7 assists and 8 points. But going back to Gary, what do you thought about Drake Powell and his play tonight? How you felt about that?
Drake Powell's almost there. Like, he's almost. I know statistically he didn't shoot the ball well. He had a couple shots that rolled in and out. He picked up a couple fouls too. I feel like
love that
fouls.
dunk, man, and one.
Yeah, he had a good defensive play on Amon though in the 4th,
and that cookies. Yeah, give me them cookies. Give me them cookies, man.
Like, to me, like, what's the difference between a good shooter and a great shooter? the great shooter ain't afraid, and that's where Drake Powell just needs to put it up, right? I feel like he's hesitant to put it up. Like, just shoot it, just shoot.
Gary,
Right.
wouldn't Drake Powell be the
Let's do that.
perfect Gary, wouldn't Drake Powell be the perfect player if you just merged him and gave him Cam Thomas offensive powers?
If you gave,
If you just add him
if you gave Cam's confidence, if you can take Cam's balls and give them to Drake Powell will be an all-star this year. Like, Drake Powell he's so close.
He is close. He's so close. Like if he had the offensive prowess of Cam Thomas, he'll be the best player on this roster. Like
Gary.
he's so close to being there.
Gary,
If that was the case, we'll be okay with the 2026 top 8 pick. Number 8.
He remind me of Drew Holiday. That's all.
You know what's interesting I noticed about Jordy's system? We all agree that MPJ is the main focal point, right? Everything runs through MPJ a lot. But you take MPJ out of the equation, you have Drake Powell point guard tonight, Danny Wolf's a 2-3-4, and the guys don't like they know what they're doing as far as a collective offense goes. Does Jordy actually run plays with everybody else outside of MPJ? People have question marks like, oh, without MPJ, do other guys know their roles, or are they just learning on the fly? It seems like Jordy isn't working a lot with these young guys as far as a system goes, where the system only works with one guy. Like, how detrimental could that be if Jordy doesn't start addressing that?
Because MPJ is good enough to run plays for. But I'm gonna wait till my turn because I want to explain something.
Nah, that's Jay Noel. So go ahead, Gary. But let Gary finish, then passes to Jay Noel. Shout out to Jay Noel.
Jordy's managing a lot right now. Like Jordy is trying to win games. Primarily, he's trying to win games. Secondarily, he's trying to develop these guys, which I think is backwards, right? But that's what they're doing.
Right.
He's got a lot on his plate. Like, they're running the offense through Michael Porter Jr., and everyone else is playing off of Michael Porter Jr. because they're trying to win. And, like, there may come a point where they just have to sit Michael Porter Jr. down and then create an offense without Michael Porter Jr. in it, right? Like, they may have to find an injury for MPJ, right? Like, and run see what the offense looks without him. Running the offense through Drake Powell, running the offense through Traore, seeing what that looks like. There's going to come a point where we have to try that.
They should have played Nolan tonight. We talked on Breezy's show beginning of the day. Like, this was a perfect night for Powell to be the 2 and for Nolan to be the 1. But you said you have Powell be the 1. It's like Powell doesn't play the 1. He would have been a fine 2 tonight. It's like that's where he should have been. But Jordy's mind, I guess, is over-test him by making him play different roles because this is all about positionless basketball. Wolf played 3 roles tonight. It's like that's sensory overload, though. Like,
maybe
I get Jordy wants to test these guys, but you could do it succinctly. And I feel like tonight Jordy overwhelmed them. And it's like if that's Jordy's strategy, then you got to come up with a better strategy for these rookies, because without MPJ, you got to get creative now. And like you said, Gary, I think he's struggling a little bit during that right now to get creative.
Hold on, John. Let's go to Jay Noel. Jay Noel, talk to us. What was you saying? Yeah, you was trying to add to something that we was talking about. What you were saying?
Yeah, what's going on, Reezy? What's going on, panel? Just first and foremost, Happy New Year, fellas.
Happy New Year, Jay Noel.
Yeah. It's funny because I was doing my YouTube rundown and it said like Big Fan Breezy was by far the most show I watched. So, but it's like I appreciate the platform, man. It's really good having a good Nets platform like this, real Brooklyn basketball. So appreciate you. I appreciate all you on the panel. But just to finish about this conversation, because I'm a neutral person as far as with the Brooklyn Nets. I don't have no agendas. I don't care about I'm all about what's good for the team. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I know you guys are used to whether on X, whether on here. You're used to people who have the same talking points. So I'm just neutral. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, played ball here first, then went to upstate New York. Now I just coach in Long Island. So so I was always around basketball. What I see about the Brooklyn Nets is a lot of times because we just start saying phrases and we kind of think that's going to work because we never really seen this team build something and succeed. So we say stuff like trade MPJ or do this or just play the rookies but it's like we don't know what comes of that. So I really think in Brooklyn, when you're talking about getting great young players, you're absolutely right. You have to tank. You have to have a certain type of record to give yourself a chance. But that's just one part. Another part to build this team, particularly in Brooklyn, we have to have some good players. And Cam Thomas is a product of someone who grew up with no structure, no system. Cam Thomas is in year 5, and you have people trying to define his role. The Brooklyn Nets, like like the whole trade MPJ stuff. I get what you're saying. MPJ does hurt the
But
tank.
Hold on, Jay Noel. Let me get you to slow down. Like, can we get your take on what KD said about Cam Thomas having a bright future in the NBA? How you feel about that?
Oh yeah, no, I believe it, but I think it's too late for that. I think it's too late for
Oh,
that. Yeah, I think it's too late for that because I feel like the narrative has already been pushed on Cam Thomas. So whatever team he goes to without here, they're already gonna. The minute Cam Thomas has like a bad shooting game, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, this is who he is. It's already a stain on him already. So I understand what KD was saying, but it's too late for that. That should have been
yeah.
happening like his second year in the league.
Cam Thomas is NBA's orphan.
If Katie
But
wants
nah,
Cam,
but you
let's see if
gotta,
he meant what he said.
you know why,
KD can't
I don't
get
agree
Cam.
with that.
KD can't. Yeah.
Listen, you know
Yeah, he
why I
could.
don't agree with, but you know why I don't agree with that, because those coaches are not NBA coaches. Like, let's say everything that you say is true, right? Those coaches that did that to Cam Thomas' career is not NBA coaches. Not none of them. Not Kevin Ollie, not Steve Nash, and not Jock Vaughn. They not
Yeah.
NBA
I don't mean
coaches.
the point don't ring true though.
But
No, but
I
what I'm
mean,
saying is, the coaches that shied the minutes away and gave him the DNPs and didn't know what they were doing with Cam Thomas. You know, again,
But what
that's
he's
why,
saying is correct though, in
right?
terms
But
of
no,
him
but what
growing
I'm
up with
saying,
structure.
yeah,
right?
Like
But what I'm,
but Breezy, but
but what I'm saying is,
He
I feel
he
what
got
you're
the he
saying,
got the label on him, Breezy. That's what it
right?
yeah,
is.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, Kevin Durant, he acknowledged that and then spoke on the what it is about scorers and how they get overlooked for other roles in the league. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that to say, when you got a player like Kevin Durant vouching for you in the media, that means something. You
but
know
this is
what I
not
mean?
his first time, Breezy. KD vouched for Cam Thomas even when he was here.
He
This is
got
not
him
KD's.
drafted.
Yeah, this is not KD's first time
Yeah, he drafted
vouching
him.
him.
That's a
I
good one.
just feel
He
like
drafted him.
But KD
it's
vouches for
just
all the scorers in the NBA. Like
Right, right
he's a
on.
scorer. He's a scorer himself. He vouches for Cade, he vouches for all of these guys that can score on a high enough level. That's just who
yeah,
he is.
yeah.
Right.
He's a
But
But
basketball
just to
guy.
finish the point,
they
but just to
they're not
finish
gonna
the
take
point
his
is
word
like,
though.
yeah, but just
That's
to
his
finish the point
friend.
is like the league is too fast. Like we have rookies coming in from overseas, from America constantly. So it's like no, unfortunately, Breezy, it is too late for Cam Thomas. I like that's just what I feel because I feel like it doesn't matter what team he goes to. As soon as he has one bad game or he has one thing he doesn't do right, they're gonna put him back in that box. It is just what it is.
But you
Like,
gotta realize, like this is what I'm saying though. Even if they do that, how much weight should we be giving them anyway? Because right now he had 2 out of 3 good games. This game was a good game shooting wise. I'm talking about field goal percentage wise. He wasn't like a perfect game. But if we just talking about and prioritizing scoring, because that's what he's supposed to be known for, he had 2 good shooting nights and 1 bad shooting night. And that's just the facts in the matter. You know what I'm saying? When I say 2 good shooting nights, they were over 50% from the field, and the bad shooting night was under 50%. So that's
right,
why how
right.
I measure
You,
how
know what
well
the
he.
And the
problem
team
is,
playing
Noel?
well, and the team playing well would do nothing but help Cam Thomas. That's why, like, if Cam Thomas, for example, goes to a team where like they're better, they have like better structure, yeah, like you'll see some spurts when he shows up. But overall, as far as him being like a marquee player for a team, I don't see that happening again. But just overall, like, to pass the ball to y'all real quick, I just feel like you saw an example today of what it is when the rookies are playing are playing with trash. All y'all that want to trade MPJ, if we trade MPJ, let's say MPJ was gone for some like expiring contracts, and those expiring contracts we just bought them out, so MPJ is gone for nothing, and we just got some picks. Igor and them niggas are not gonna develop like the way you want them to. Like we have to understand, like we're not OKC. In order for these young players to actually feel what it's like, kind of like get better, they need better players around them. If you play basketball, one of the best things that someone can do for you is have a dude who's better than you teach you some things. That's the best. Like that's how you get better. And I feel like we need to actually have a plan. And every time with Cam Thomas, with Claxton, MPJ, we just want to throw away good players. Like at some point, you have to have good players on your roster. Like
We have a
these niggas
lottery. We have a lottery pick this summer, Noel. That's a priority.
you're getting a lottery pick, but that lottery pick still needs still needs structure. Like y'all think this lottery pick is just the end all be all. What if we get Mikael Brown and all of a sudden, God forbid, Mikael Brown has a knee injury and he's out for the season? Like it needs to be more than just getting this one pick. You need to start building a team, building a system, building a culture of basketball in Brooklyn. And I'm
what
not
do you
hearing
need
no
to
one
build
talk
a
about
team?
that.
And what do you
Wait, so
need to
hold
build
on,
a
right?
team? A franchise homegrown guy of some
So
sort.
so let me
That's
so
what
let
you
me
need.
ask the question, right? Because we a lot of this fan base akins the Nets to OKC, supposedly. If I
Yikes.
remember correctly, before OKC got Shet, before OKC got Jalen Williams, and it was just Shea, I don't know anybody, and y'all correct me, or maybe Shea was the MPJ of that team, but I don't know anybody that was playing like MPJ on OKC. If I'm correct, I think Shea was the MPJ of that team during their tanking years. I think that year he averaged 24 points per game. They were 22 and 60, but he was the clear rising
He brought
star of
structure.
that franchise. Right.
Absolutely.
But
He brought structure.
the players around him wasn't exactly lottery material either. Like he was playing with Kyrie Williams, Darius Baisley. Like Darius Baisley is out the league now. Like these guys he was playing with was just they were young. You still had Lou Dort there, but they weren't exactly all stars. Like MPJ is playing like an all star now. That team, Shea didn't have anybody. It was really just him. So realistically, when it comes to MPJ getting traded, I'm not saying I want him traded. I think he will be good here, especially if you get lucky and pair him with an AJ Devonsta or Boozer or Peterson. I think that can work. But realistically, if he does get traded, I'm not getting rid of MPJ unless it's for an exciting young player or you're giving us two firsts. If it's not any of that, I'm keeping him. There's no reason to trade him.
At the end of the day, if they feel they could get a star this summer to pair with MPJ, then okay, keep it and make sense. But if you keep MPJ and you don't get a top 4 guy next year, then you have to pay MPJ in 2 years to still be on this team. And the thing I keep saying to people is, if you get the Bonds, Boozer, Pearson, those guys could be the face of Brooklyn Nets for 5 to 10 years. MPJ, you don't know if he has 5 or 10 years left after these next 2 seasons because he's taking it year by year. And I applaud everything he's done during 3 back surgeries and that special brace he wears. I don't think many people at his age could do what he's done. But at the end of the day, the toll it takes to do that all the time, especially a top option on this team, I think the front office has to be careful because they're playing with fire there with MPJ. Your goal is to make sure this lottery pick can be something special because this is your last chance to do it Then you have to go into the market next summer and look at other
Yo,
options.
Sean Marks better have a phone
People-
glued to right on his ear.
Hold on,
Right on his
people.
ear. Glue that
John,
shit up.
let-
I mean, no, tape it up. Tape that shit
People,
up.
hold on, people.
Oh, I got you.
Let me hear John and Jay Noel talk about the pros and cons of keeping MPJ. Like, y'all on different sides of the conversation. So let's just see what, like, where we stand as Nets fans. We not arguing. We Nets fans. We just hashing it out. You know what I mean?
The problem I see, like, if I can go first, the problem I see is that we think that there's just one reason to like, for example, we have to get rid of him in order to secure the tank. The problem with the Brooklyn Nets organization, they need to step up and start controlling shit. Meaning you have to sit MPJ, sit him against these teams like the Wizards. Like the Nets have to start, because one thing about MPJ, he helps the rookies. He does. He takes pressure off them. He's a shooter who's a play finisher. He helps the rookies. So it's like, if we get 2 unprotected great first round picks to MPJ, of course, like no one's gonna turn that down. But as
We
far
trying
as
to get 3, man. We trying to get 3.
but as far as getting rid of him, it's like at some point, believe it or not, we got to look towards how the Knicks did it compared to OKC, because the Knicks are more associated with us than OKC. We're not in Oklahoma. I don't know how many of y'all live here. This is Brooklyn. This is New York. This shit is different. When you have buzz in this city, it goes on 24/7. These players feel it. These niggas are not feeling the same kind of thing in Oklahoma. It's different. So what did the Knicks do?
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, just to finish it off.
Yeah.
What did the
Can
Knicks
I,
do? The Knicks sucked for a long time. They drafted players. What did they do? They got what's his name's daddy and said, you know what, Jalen Brunson, come over here. Let's fix. Like that's what we like. It's more moves like that than it is y'all just hoping that we get this thing. No, we need to build structure now. So that's why I would keep MPJ because it's about that time. Brooklyn needs talent around these rookies. As far as tanking, bro, just Joe Tsai, sit MPJ down, plan some vacations, sit that motherfucker out. That's what you have to do. That's what you got to do,
That's what I'm
man.
saying.
all right. Those you made some very interesting points, Noel. I would say this: there is a market starting to be built today. We heard some teams, Pistons, Warriors, Bucks. If Pistons or Warriors feel like they can give us an offer of like Elam says, 2 first-round picks, a good expiring salary, maybe a young player they don't need. That actually is the best you could probably get for MPJ, given the fact he's had 3 back surgeries and he's making over $38 million. If you could get an offer like that for one of those 2 teams, that's when you have to really consider striking while iron is hot. Now, if you do let him go and you think you have a decent draft position and you still don't get a top pick, then it's like, oh, damn, we let a third option go that could have helped these young guys in their second year get much better. Now you have another young, fresh rookie that's not a franchise guy. That could be a potential con right there, right? But I think for the Nets, just like you said, structure matters. But the problem is Sean Marks and Joe, they've not been known for the last 10 years to be very vocal as far as leader goes. We saw the debacle with the Big Three. They ran that show. I don't think Sean and Joe said more than 2 sentences. Then you had the Twins. They thought, oh, the Twins are going to be good gentlemen. They're going to get us a Donovan Mitchell, Giannis. One of them didn't want to be here, want to go cross the bridge with his Villanova buddies. And the other guy said he wanted to be here, but he had no problem criticizing us because we actually wanted to get a top pick. So it's like they've never been known for being assertive or vocal as far as giving a structure. Now you bring in Jordy, who I think they thought was going to build a good culture, but they didn't think he was going to get good results. That guy's got a dominant personality, and based on what Joe said at the beginning of the year, we're prioritizing the pick. We're not going to do anything crazy like have a winning month in December. Guess what Jordy does? I'm going to steer the ship this way. So I feel like there's been a divide between Jordy and the front office. Like Jordy, he's got the respect of the team. No matter who plays on any given night, they respect Jordy immensely. But do they respect that front office? Yes, they pay them. But are those guys the leaders that they're like, damn, I'm happy to work for those guys? I think ultimately I agree with you. Structure is key here. But for us, this is our last chance to do this organically as a team. I would protect that pick. I agree. Rest MPJ the rest of the way. He got the All-Star bid. There's no reason to play him most of the second half. That's for the rookies to get more out of his experience of a tough growing pains first year. But that's a benefit of resting MPJ. Now, if you get an offer you can refuse, you trade him. But if you want to keep him because you think you could tilt your odds in a better favor and get a DeBosa Boozer, by all means, go for that. I just think there's a good amount of vets on this team that don't serve a long-term purpose to this team. Outside of MPJ, Claxton, Terrence Mann, Haywood, fortunately, maybe Cam, like you have a chance to collect more assets this upcoming deadline and set yourself up well for a coming summer where you could have extra cap space on top of what you already have and a potential franchise prospect. And if you keep MPJ, the Nets should be close to a play-in or playoff round next year because there's no reason to do this tanking stuff after April season ends. So, yeah, I think we are in a good spot right now. We have cap space flexibility. We have all the picks in the world. It's just the talent. The talent needs to match the market. And the problem with Sean Marks and Joe is they always think the market is going to dictate who wants to come here. But you got to keep the talent that comes here. No more stars that want to be here for 1 or 2 months. No more young up-and-coming players you can't develop. This right here, 2026, is the year to build a structure and get us a top franchise guy, something we haven't done in 10 years. The time is now, gentlemen. And let's get to it. That's all I got to say.
I'm gonna add to that.
And before I pass the ball, can I say one thing? And because John made a great point before. John said, like, well, we have to pay MPJ. Joe Tsai and Sean Marks should know right now how much MPJ wants in a year or so. Don't wait till next year. Ask him right now, what kind of money are you looking for? If it's over 40 something crazy, get rid of him. But you can talk to him and be like, we could work something out between, 25 around there and stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to say. Ultimate point, like what John said.
Let me jump in. He's a $40 million plus a year player easily. Look at the guys making $40 million. He's as good or better than those guys.
You gonna say the same thing at 31?
He only got that because he won the ring, though, Gary. That was in his clause as a third option. He wouldn't have gotten that money by anybody else during a regular contract negotiation. It was a clause.
So what I'm saying is he's playing like a $40 million player. He's performing.
Gary, let me say this to Jay Noel, because for one, I disagree with you said that we should do it like the Knicks because they got free agents, the most important players on their team, and right now we got 10 draft picks. It looked
they
like
lucked out with Jalen Brunson, bro.
No, but Breezy, what I mean is that you have to get your guy regardless of whether he's in the draft or not. Like the Knicks wait, like because New York is different. It's hard to build a rookie here, bro. We have fucking like all these different streams talking like the media. Some of these young kids will get killed in here. It's not easy for them. It's different in Oklahoma. That's why I understand the Knicks says, you know what, we're gonna get our star player, just someone who's already developed. Sometimes it has to go that way because it's tough to win in New York. I'm telling you, it's a different animal here. Like as
I don't
soon as
think
the
that
Nets
applies
get
to
good,
Brunson.
I'm telling you right now, as soon as the Nets get good, watch all the sharks come out, all the haters,
Listen,
all
hold
the
on,
beat fighters. Who are,
listen,
I don't think that
listen,
applies to
hold on, hold on,
They don't
J-Will.
have to wait. The haters are here right now.
Hold on,
Haters,
hold on, y'all.
haters
Hold
on the screen right now.
They
Watch
forget about the Kyrie and KD era.
What the hell is that noise?
Yo, whose static is that? That's
Yeah,
wild.
somebody is shuffling cards or.
They forget about the Kyrie and KD era where
Hold on,
all
y'all,
that
'cause
was going down.
I'm trying to go to Gary, then I'm trying to go to Big Priest. I just
Like
want to
plastic
say
cards.
hold on, bro. Well, I'm just trying to say for context, bro, we gotta invest in our draft picks. That's the route that we gotta take. And I was gonna say something else. I forgot what I was gonna say though. Go ahead though, Gary. I'll remember it.
No, I was just saying, like you guys are saying, pay Michael Porter 20. Michael Porter's a $40 million player at least. We got Michael Porter Jr. as a salary dump, and
that's harsh words for him, man. He's not.
But he wasn't a salary dump.
That's how we got him. They didn't
not
want
being a
Denver didn't want to pay him, right?
The
That's how
dude
we
is
got
playing
rid of
with
him.
an ankle brace though. Like how much you want to put your body through that?
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that's why we got him because Denver wanted to dump his
Yeah,
salary.
but what I'm saying is there was a relationship with Jordy Fernandez and MPJ when he was the assistant coach there.
Yeah.
So like there was something there anyway. So to them it's a salary dump, but like another man's salary dump is another man's treasure. You know what I'm saying?
That's my point.
But he himself said, "Yo, I don't really see myself playing that long because of my injury.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna see me at 37, like KD age, still playing. Like if it's really getting to a point where that injury is still hammering me, I probably will retire. And the question to the Nets is, do you want that problem on your hands if you offer him that contract? It is a risk at the same time. Like you will pay him. He's playing like this now. But God forbid, and I'm not, knock on wood, we don't know what the years of the NBA may occur. He may get a season and an injury one day, and he's just not the same after that. Now you're stuck on a contract that you gave him that nobody in the NBA wants to take. Like, it's so many things you got to consider when it comes to MPJ.
That's what the points that I
There's a lot of factors.
But
that's
that's
only
with
27
everybody though.
guys.
That's every player though. If you think about it,
Not everybody that got a season that's playing with a knee brace every
Right,
game.
no, no, seriously, Jamal.
I'm talking about retiring and everything like that too. Like listen, Jordan retired in the middle of going on the repeat.
Jamal, this ain't the same
Right,
thing.
but Jordan wasn't dealing with injuries and back problems.
What Ellen is saying? What Ellen is saying is what I've said similar on Twitter. I asked this question to Brooklyn Base. Are we building up Brooklyn's future long term? We build up MPJ's financial future long term. Like if you want to keep him on short term extension, do like you did with Claxton, front load it, like with AAVA or something that's called. You pay him a high amount the first year, then the next two years it goes down. If you want to keep him like that, like you can't just say I'm going to give you 40 for 3 years, like Ellen's saying, and then he has an injury. Bam, Ben Simmons 2.0 all over again. Like that's not what we want to need. But again, it all depends on this draft. If you keep him, you got to hope you land a franchise guy because you need that guy that's going to be the next 5 to 10 years. We don't know if MPJ has 5 or 6 years left at this rate.
Hold on. What I will say is this, right? To agree with y'all, to show y'all where I'm trying to stay on the same page with y'all as Nets fans, right? So basically, there's 82 games. You get 17 games to have the incentives. The incentives is 65 games or more. Just make sure that he clears the 65 games, but you rest him. If y'all want to focus on the tank, then focus on the tank. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that they can do both. And the window is the rookie scale contracts. Don't give MPJ a contract bigger than the rookie scale contract. Whatever,
right.
You see what I'm saying? Make sure it's in that same window because dependent or contingent on his health and the potential of the rookies with MPJ, in the rookie scale contract, which is 4 years, and keep MPJ in that 4-year window. Just keep him in that window. If you're not going to do that, then yeah, I would say, all right, fine. And the reason why I would say keep him in that window at first, I would say that is because he is playing well with the rookies. He makes them look good. You know what I'm saying? He's putting them in situations where Yegor can knock down clutch shots. You know what I'm saying? He is no dry spots in the third quarter because he's going to score the ball. And when they double him like they were doing Cam Thomas, Yegor's open for 3. And Yegor, rightfully so, taking advantage of it. You know, that's what your teammate does. So I'm saying that to say MPJ puts them in that position. So I agree with both of y'all, but if I had to choose a side, I would choose the side of knowing that it would have to be a short window investment to win big with MPJ. You can't think of him 10 years down. Like, come on, John. That's a ridiculous window anyway.
No,
Because
but
Can I say something?
10
Can I
years,
ask something?
he's 27. So the biggest would be 5 years, 5-year window.
Right,
But
Breeze.
I
Can I
agree with you. The
acknowledge
health,
you said the right thing where you said his contract, you want to line up when the rookies are about to get paid, because by that 4th year, that's when realistically we should be full on contending, because that's before you got to pay them. And if they've grown in their roles on this team and they're ready to play key pieces, you're in a great position financially because you kept MPJ at a decent price. Your rookie's about to get paid. They're developing. That's the perfect time how you set this all up. But at the
Yeah,
same
hold
time,
on,
we're
John.
just
We
saying
gotta,
that he can't be the number one option for the next 2-3 years. You got to find the number one option to eventually. That's what we've been saying. That's why you can't
right.
overpay to keep MPJ. But I agree with you. Short term, if you're going to
Yeah,
keep him, nothing too crazy. That's the lineup with the rookies getting their first real contracts. I agree
right.
with you. You hit the nail on the
Yeah,
head on
no, I
that.
appreciate you. I'm just trying to go around the panel. Shout out to Big Priest. He joined the panel. Talk to us, Big Priest. You seen the game tonight, man? Talk to us.
Hey, Priest.
Yeah, I watched it up until I couldn't watch it no more. We look like shit when we get Gore and TJ.
Talk to him.
It was, it didn't look good. So, um, about the MPJ contract is if you're going to give him a shorter term deal, it's going to cost more money, right? Because we all know this is a business. So if I'm going to take, if I'm looking for 5 years, right, and you offer me 3, those me missing those 2 years of security is going to be like a tax on that. I think, like, I agree with Breeze. He's been very impactful for the young player. He's been very, I think his impact on them cannot be overstated, right? You need, number one, when you got a lot of playmakers like we drafted, all them point guards, you need shooting, right? He provides that. His size, actually, even though he's not a great defender, his size provides a lot of benefits on the defensive end and a lot of flexibility, right? And we've seen in situations where Denver needed to win or whatever the case may be, he, in a lot of those series, was a plus defender. He's not that all the time, but so I think getting him was a coup, but that's why it's hard to know what the direction of the team is. But if you're putting vets next to the rookies and letting them kind of learn and grow, and you can't just throw anybody that thought you could just start 12 or 5 rookies on you know what I mean, from day one and just let it rock. That was never gonna happen.
But all right, so what about Jake Powell in his first start? How you feel about it?
I'm not mad at him. I think he trying to see how to phrase it. I I think he needs to grow offensively. He hasn't played. I put it like this: he hasn't played a lot of basketball. So, and plus with injuries and all that stuff. So I would rather him come off the bench. Even in a situation like tonight, I would probably started one of the other guys and just had him still in his same role so he could be comfortable and all those kind of things. So um yeah, I would have probably done it that way. I'm not trying to push him into starting. I still think he's maybe a year or two away from being able to start consistent. Because he
Okay.
still needs that work. He still needs that development. He still needs to, get more time in. I that's what I see from him. I think he's good on the defensive end, but offensively, I think he still has a lot of growing to do.
Do you think it was odd Jordy played him at the 1 instead of the 2? Because I agree with you that he should have played at the 2 tonight instead of playing a role he's unfamiliar with. Because being the point guard, he can't really do anything offensive because he has to make plays for others. Did you think that was a bad decision on Jordy's part?
If I was gonna, like I said, I would have kept him coming off the bench. And if anything, out with all the players we had out, I would have brought Ben Seraph up for a game and let him start again. He's already started. I would have done something like that. I want to keep as much players into a role where they're comfortable as possible, right?
Yeah, that
And
makes. So hold on.
and
This
What was with
on
Wolf
that.
at the 3 tonight?
Oh,
That
let
was
me.
weird.
What was
Hold on,
at
let me
the
say.
2 tonight, LM?
Right. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I want to. Now it didn't happen because Diego didn't play, but I wanted Diego to play the 2 and Nolan to play the 1. Nolan, he breaks down the half court defense, or the full court pressure, and I wanted to see more of that. But this, I just wanted to say this real quick, Big Priest. This is to what I was saying earlier. What is overpaying MPJ because he's putting up KD numbers and gave and KD 19 and 8. It was going to give Kyrie and Max too. But look, what I wanted to, it was something like this. I wanted to say was, and that was to me what me and John agreed on is the window. The rookie scale contract, you could pay them before that, but you don't have to.
how
So if
old
you
is
wait to the
MPJ?
fourth, if you wait to the
27.
fourth
20,
year,
27.
yeah.
Okay.
If you wait to the
So
fourth
real
year, the
quick,
rookie scale contract, that's like the third year of the rook for Diego and the rest of the rookies, right?
Yeah.
I kind of disagree a little bit because the back stuff, right?
Hold on.
Now,
Just let me, just for context, the reason
go
why I
ahead.
said that, I said all that to say this. If that's the case, you could fit 2 max players. MPJ is one of them, and you could fit one more max player with a $40 million player. Because or your focus is on your draft picks, and they got rookie scale contracts, so you could fit one more max player. I don't know who that is. I'm just saying. But go ahead, Big Priest.
When we talk about MPJ as far as the injuries are concerned, MPJ has been more durable over the past, let me say, 3 or 4 years or so. When he was coming out of college, off of the surgery, I expected them to be hiccups and things of that nature. But I haven't really seen the back hinder him, and it might be his style of play, right? Because some like you'll hear people say this person's game is going to age well because yada yada yada. MPJ is a shooter, coming off screens, doing all that stuff. He's not really, his game isn't based on athleticism. His ability to score isn't really based on athleticism, based on size and skill set. So I don't know unless it's a decision by him whether um his back is going to cause him to not play. I think it was different for Ben Simmons because everything he did was based off athleticism.
Man,
So
Ben
I'm
Simmons,
saying that to say
Could,
this. I'm saying that to say this. I don't mind him being on the team. If anything, he'll be a great shooter for years to come.
okay.
I think it's mostly because in Denver he was really like the third option. Like he didn't really have to do much. Most of the times it's usually
But
Jokic or
his
Murray.
game hasn't changed.
No, I know, but
He's
it's I think it's different when you come in from a team like that to a bad team where you are the number one option. Like if I'm on Denver, you
But
telling
if
me all
do
I gotta
you
do is
understand what I'm saying,
catch and
LM?
shoot?
His game, the way he scores, still is the same. Whether he's the third option or the first option with us, the way he
I
goes
think he's
about
putting
getting
the
his
ball on the
points.
floor a little bit more on this roster. He's putting the ball on the floor a lot more than he did in Denver. Like it may not be. I'm not saying this is Cam Thomas like where he's ISOing and shaky. Like he's not doing all of that. But I think I've seen more of shot creation from him on this team than I did in Denver. Like he didn't have to do much. Catch and shoot. If anything, the
But
ball
you
stopped
got to
there.
look
Michael
at
Porter
how our
Jr.
roster.
was him in Denver.
You got to look at how our roster is put together. It's put together in a way with a ton of playmakers, right? So he's still able to play that same style of ball. Just like if he was playing off of Jokic, even though we don't have a Jokic with a Danny Wolf on the court, with a Yegor on the court, with even the guy like Nick Claxton who's showing his playmaking shots. He's getting a lot of his buckets off of assists. He's not really having to break people down. That's why you're not seeing the one-on-one. Let me go get a bucket because he doesn't really have to.
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
they double him,
I don't
he swings
disagree.
the
So
ball.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying with him, I don't know if we're getting the top pick or not. But realistically, I want to see how he does in his second year because this is the first year we are seeing him be a first option. Like he's
Right.
not bringing the ball up and doing all of that, yes. But his second year is when I'm really testing him because one, that year we do have to win. And then
Mm-hmm.
two, I don't know if we get in the top pick or
You know
not.
what he's doing?
If we're not
I'll
getting
tell
the
you like
top
this.
pick,
I'll tell
then
you like this,
he's gonna
LM.
have more of an extra offensive load his next season.
I'll tell you like
Right.
this,
And being
Galen.
an expiring
He's
contract, you could
scoring.
actually really
He's
evaluate him. That's a good point.
he's scoring like Klay Thompson scored in Golden State. Like Klay Thompson can average 24, 25, but a lot of it catch and shoot, a lot of it off screens, a lot
yeah,
of it,
maybe
you
like
know,
5 dribbles.
yeah. That's how if you watch how MPJ is getting his points, that's exactly how it is. How it's coming.
Right. But look, hold on. I want y'all to see something. I want y'all again. This are the facts. Sometimes y'all get my opinion, but these are the facts. For one, I didn't like Jordy Fernandez subbing Cam Thomas in for Danny Wolf. You want to see Cam Thomas on the floor with Danny Wolf. You don't sub him for Danny Wolf. You only got 7 points, and Cam Thomas just gets in the game 6 minutes into the game. The start is down big early. Now, and this is the whole point about 0 calories and comments like that from whoever said that, Zach Lowe or whoever said that. Is look, this you put a lot on a bench. This is not the bench fault that they can't catch up. You put them at a disadvantage. You go down 10-2. You don't even sub nobody out at 10-2. Somebody need to go on the bench is 10-2. Shit. 12-2. 12 it's still I'm gonna sub somebody out. Why you let it go down 12-2 8 minutes in? That's a problem. That means the starting lineup that we picked was a mistake, but he rides with it. And the first sub is Cam Thomas at 6 minutes. And when it does happen, it's the game is 17-7. So what happens? He comes in the game and the score get tightened up. I seen that. You see it right away. Clowney knocked down some free throws, 2 out of 3, I think. And what happened? Jair hit a 3 from a Cam Thomas assist. I seen that. 6 minutes in the game. So so that is playmaking. You got to assist, and that was it made it from 9 points to 12 points. Now it's
The only
12-18.
assist he got the whole game.
Yo,
Right. No doubt. Thank you for that, LM. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But that just goes to show nobody on this team was given anything offensively for him to even get more assists. So
Right. But what I'm saying is, before he got in the game, nobody knocking down his shots. Somebody who's a natural scorer like Cam Thomas, why are you gonna pass it to somebody who been missing before he got in the game? Remember, he coming in the game and you're already down 17-7. Excuse me.
what it is. Like they putting him at a disadvantage by not starting him. Now, if Drake Powell would have came in the game and put up 6 points in the first quarter, or something like that, yeah, you deserve to start. But you're not. He doesn't have enough offensive prowess to start as the shooting guard. The shooting guard is supposed to shoot the ball. They're supposed to be one of the players that take the most shots. Drake Powell on more occasions is taking the least amount of shots. But we need him at the 2 guard, and we tried him at the point guard tonight. We see that's not what he do. So he's going to play the 2 guard. He has to be more aggressive on the offensive end. It's that simple. Regardless of how good his defense is and the intangibles that he come with, if he's only going to give us what? How many points he give us? Yeah. Is this sufficient? Is this sufficient for him to only give us 8 points?
But Jordy was probably thinking in the moment, like, I got size and I got defense in the lineup. So realistically, I guess that's what he was trying to go with. But I mean, it didn't end up the way he.
I would have just started Nolan with Powell like we talked about. It was easy, simple forward. And the problem with Nolan and Cam in the backcourt, they're two different styles. Nolan is run and gun, quickness, and Cam is slow, methodical. You can't just make those two styles come together and it's gonna blend well. They just don't match. Like Jordy has to, I think, separate Nolan and Cam because they don't work together. Like it's two different styles. Like how can Cam do what he's good at, and how can Nolan do what he's at when both these guys don't gel?
Nolan gotta have better basketball IQ. Nolan gave the ball to Cam Thomas and let him get trapped. Like he just turned around, even turned his back. Like, yo, help me! You didn't even turn around. Like, yo, I got you. They trying to trap you. Like, no, you just left him there. That's on Nolan Traore, not Cam Thomas. Yo, look, John. If me and you playing basketball together, and I see the team trying to trap you, I'm gonna stay close to you intentionally, so you can pass me the ball and duck and avoid the trap. You see what I'm saying? If your teammate is not doing that, who's that on? Is that your fault or is that my fault? That's my fault, John. That's my fault that I'm not there for my teammate. Yeah, you could call to get the turnover for the stat, but it's really my fault for not helping you when I should have as a teammate. You feel what I'm saying?
No, I feel what you're saying, and we've seen the last 2 games. They've had 3 assists combined together as a duo. Like, they gotta figure out the communication because this isn't good as far as them playing as a duo. I agree. Nolan should not have ran from Cam, but the problem with Cam is every time he gets double team now, nobody's open for him. He doesn't know how to find anybody. So it's like they got to get better at schemes. They got to get better at schemes.
Listen, and one thing that I will say that Cam does, and I think it's because he's short, is that he jumps in pass, right? So hold on. So what I will say is that's dangerous for one. For two, but he's doing that because everybody's playing the 5 and out. Like, what the hell? Y'all just run into the spot and expect me to break down a defense, but you want me to split the trap. Like, no, he's not splitting a trap, bro. We want him to be Kyrie Irving on that USA practice team. Like, no.
Hold on, Breeze. I do want to say this though before he passes to DJ. Like, realistically, bro, and this is what mind boggles me about this front office, and I'm sure a lot of people know exactly what I'm about to say, but cool, okay. MPJ's out with a quote-unquote illness. Terrence Mann got a right hip contusion. Jaeger with lower back soreness. Cool, fine. Supposedly, quote-unquote. So you facing Houston, but you rest them against Houston. Cool, logical. Fine. Great logic. Got a back-to-back. We play tonight against a team that you, Mr. Sean Marks, that your franchise is competing against for a top pick, which is Washington Wizards. They have 8 wins. You have 10. I would think, and I think a lot of us here would think the logical thing to do would be to sit these guys down for this game, not last night's game, which is now, Houston's. So I'm sure all of us has had illnesses before. I don't think an illness takes a day to get over. I think you're sick for a pretty long amount of time. 2 days, 3 days.
Yo, Ella, what are you doing on a podcast? You should be GMing this team right now, bro. Like, what are you doing?
So if all of a sudden MPJ is available tomorrow, I'm assuming he got over the illness. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but no. But what I'm saying is what's worse is they really robbed the fans of what we really want to see. KD was the leader of this team. He came back to Brooklyn. MPJ is the new leader of this team. Let us see them compete versus each other. You take that away from us? That's fucked
Which
up.
is why it's so stupid. And you're going against a team tonight where if Washington can win 9 games, you pretty
listen,
much at a point where you can get to the 4th best odds. But
right,
once
but what
again, we're not going to do
yeah.
that. Because the team
Right,
is
but that's
stupid.
what I'm saying. Nah, that's why I'm mad with LM because it's like, yo,
All that
that shit
odd
would
shit
for
is
one, it
irrelevant.
was at the Barclays, so that bro, the fans would have been going loving that. You know what I mean? This is the
I
new
wish he
leader,
would have
the
played.
new regime with the rookies, and again, KD is part of this spider web of trades and the rookies that we got and all of this. So it's like not having Yago, not having MPJ, we missed out on something, man. We
This
missed
team
out
just
on
does
All I
stuff
know
backwards.
is
They just
all
do
I
stuff
know is
backwards.
this.
That's what the
All
team is
that
all about. The Nets have no backbone, bro. Like the Nets are complete opposite of what the city's all about. If you look at every player that either asked out or got traded, Kyrie, KD, Harden, they all came back to the Barclays, bust our ass, had a highlight dunk that had the crowd going crazy, and after the game, they all thought to themselves like, "Yeah, you know what? I should have left. I'm happy I left." After Harden got traded in the playoff series, he came back, swept us. What did he say? He was like, "Yeah, I see now I left, right?" Kyrie came back, got a alley-oop dunk in our face. Like, this is what we do. We're like, we just have no backbone. Everyone, like, Mikal Bridges has still yet to get a loss from us. Every time Mikal comes to the Barclays, team is winning. Like, I get the team is better, but at some point have some backbone. Let MPJ go up against KD tonight. But that's what we do. We always like these niggas coming in here embarrassing us. Like, yo, like it's pathetic, man.
You know what the problem? You know the problem is, Noel. Sean Marks doesn't foster good relationships. Like, you couldn't foster good relationships with the big three. You couldn't foster good relationships with the Twins. And now Cam Thomas, we
I
see for 4 years.
disagree.
We basically have created an autobiography about this whole situation. Now Cam is saying no
I
comment.
disagree.
Like, if you're the GM of the team for 10 years, the biggest thing you have to be qualified for is to build actual relationships where the players will want to be here and represent you. We've heard a lot of players resent this base, resent this organization because
None of that, but that don't got nothing to do with Sean Marks.
yes,
The
it does.
KD,
Well,
hold
because
on,
he's the one that they
y'all.
keep pointing the finger at.
Hold on, y'all. We didn't go to DJ yet. I wanted to hear from DJ. Just what I mean, get his take on what he's seen tonight. DJ, talk to us. You see KD represent Cam
What's the
Thomas.
word? What's the word, Breezy? What's good? What's goody, all y'all?
KD
what's
said,
up, John? Jamal,
KD,
Jay.
yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. KD said Cam Thomas got a bright future in the NBA. How you feel about that, bro?
Yo, bro, you know me, that's my boy. He was wilding tonight. I don't know what was going on with Killer tonight, bro, but he was doing his thing. Yo, matter of fact, yo, Breezy, how many points he had tonight? Go to
21.
What, 21?
Yeah, I think.
All right, bet. All right. Yo, tonight game, bro. Yo, KD was speaking with facts, bro. Like, that was facts. Like, the man, dead ass. Like, seriously, bro. Like, honestly, bro, was he was dead ass serious, bro. Like, when he said that, and I agree, right? Like, this organization, Kim is in year 5, right? But I feel like they fucked him over. They fucked him over because now Jody wants him to do something that he hasn't done in 5 years.
Right.
Jody Fernandez was here a little bit earlier in his career so that he could have understand, okay, if I got to make it into the NBA, I got to do X, Y, and Z, right? If now it's so hard for him to change his ways as a player, it's like, yo, we like, fuck, feel me? And another thing, too, is that KD, right, bro, they didn't give him a shot. They ain't trying to build around him. They always wanted to, like, put him in the back burner, you know what I'm saying? Do some other shit like that, you know what I mean? And try to not trust him and shit. But tonight, man, tonight, I'm going to go talk about Drake Powell tonight, my nigga. Yo, my nigga, you got to be aggressive, bro. You can't, you got to be fucking aggressive, bro. Like, I understand he's hit for his defense, bro, but yo, man, 8 points ain't cutting it, Drake Powell. Sorry. As a 2 guard in the league, nah, my brother. 8 points ain't cutting it. You gotta give me 20, 25 at least, bro. You can't be doing this shit.
Talk to him.
You can't be doing this. Another thing too, Danny Wolf, garbage tonight, bro. Terrible tonight. Yo, what do you like? Yo, like how many these rookies? These rookies tonight were like Bot Sula, Danny Drake. Nolan was all right. You know what I'm saying? But Basula terrible. Clowney, he wasn't that much great. Zaire, I mean, like, what do you expect? Like, having a team outside of Cam Thomas, it was so bad. Outside of Cam Thomas, it felt like everybody else tonight was like whatever. Like, they were just Houston did whatever they wanted to do to the Nets tonight, bro. Like, literally.
It was crazy. They couldn't find no offense. We had mad dry spots.
They couldn't find no offense tonight. They couldn't find no buckets tonight. Another thing too, Jordy Fernandez. I'm gonna get on the coach real quick, bro. Why are you doubling every time, bro? Do is doubling KD every time, like, my nigga. Try to tell your best defender, yo, bro, go at him. Try to go like get him, bro. If he get his, he get his. But at least don't let the other ones beat you. Like, come on, bro. What's up with you? Like, that shit was crazy. I'm gonna speak on what Elam said about, you know, tomorrow and all that. Yo, listen, everything that I said real quick was spot on. Right? You know that KD was coming to town tonight. They knew that, right? So why not let MPJ play? Now, if he's really sick, we're gonna find out today later on throughout the day. Was he really sick and stuff like that? If he's really sick, stuff like that, don't play him tonight in DC. If he's back tonight from his illness, so-called illness, which is probably bullshit, but illness though, bro. At the end of the day, bro, that's crazy work. That's nasty work. They sent him out last night because it's 1:12 a.m. in the morning, NY time. You know what I'm saying? That's nasty to let him sit out for the night and then play him the next night when you know damn well.
I'd rather
he had a hangover. I
mean, I'd rather see our stars versus the Rockets just because
the Rockets though, the
storylines behind it. And again, it's really
can I speak on Igor?
But seriously, it was really, really good basketball with MPJ right now. And again, my thing is KD's a clear number one option. You could say he's number two behind Sagoon, but you know what it is. And I wanted to see them compete versus each other. Like, it's just not going to hit different.
That would have been fine now because now
that's entertainment right there.
What?
I'm saying. We missed out. The fans missed out, man. They could have did
better.
That's a
fact, Richie, for sure. 100%. They missed out, bro. I'm gonna say real quick on Igor. How do you have lower back problems 2 days off, bro? He's 19 years old. You couldn't let Igor Dioman play tonight. You had the rest of the night tonight too. Like what's going on?
It's probably the plantar injury. It's a back-to-back. They didn't want to play him tonight. They're saving him for tomorrow. But I agree with LM. Like, just keep MPJ out tomorrow. We want to bring Terrence Mann back. Like, what's Mann gonna do? 4, 5, and 4? Like, that's really gonna change the momentum tomorrow. I would just play Mann and just keep MPJ on the shelf tomorrow. There's no reason for us to go all out tomorrow. I said this on J4BK Spaces page. If Jordy is so focused on short-term games like beating the Wizards this whole season as opposed to securing a franchise guy, then maybe he's not the coach for us. If you're just focused on the now and the present with no eye towards the future, how can you say you're actually building a philosophy and a culture? Because you're not. You're just living on short-term stuff. That's how you build something real.
All y'all that are putting all that faith in getting a lottery pick, I don't look. This is no guarantee that we get again.
I've been saying this too.
There's no guarantee that we get AJ DeBonster, Darren Peterson, or Cam Boozer. It ain't never been no guarantee.
That's the same for every
What
5 team that's doing the same thing.
Exactly.
That's
And if you
not.
have
It's
a
not.
chance,
It
you
doesn't
take
just
a
apply for
chance.
us.
Hold on. Y'all was just I was on mute this whole time.
Go ahead, Big Breeze.
Now, when you look at, you say it's the same thing for all these back. The Wizards has been awful forever because they do this bullshit. So if we got a good coach and he want to try to win, I'm not mad at that.
We
Because at
are.
the end of the day, I know you are. We want to be like the Jazz, who don't ever win. We want to be like the Wizards, who don't
They got
ever
Ace
win.
Bailey, bro. What do you mean? They
The
got Ace
Wizards just
Bailey?
started. The Wizards just started their rebuild. It hasn't been
The Wizards
years.
been shitty for years. Let's be real. Even when they had Bradley Beal.
That's not. They was crappy with Bill, but the Bill was not their rebuild years. They started when they traded Bill. They was just losing with Bill, but their rebuild did not
They were
start with Bradley
well.
Bill on the team.
You can say
Their
their
rebuild
rebuild.
started when
Then
they picked Star. That's when their rebuild started. Star was their first pick. It hasn't been years. It's been years because Bill was trash and couldn't carry that
they
team
have
to
been a
above
bad
500.
team for years in the lottery for years. Regardless
They
of how
were
you
not a
want to
bad
say it.
team when Wall was there. When Wall got traded, Bill was there. That's when they was bad because Bill could not carry to above a 500 record.
Since like
That's
2020.
the fact. Their rebuild started when they picked Sar. That is when their rebuild started.
They've been doing this for a minute, bro. Like Washington had been bad for a very long.
I know.
Time, bro.
That don't mean it's gonna be us, DJ.
So if you're, so all the teams that do this shit, right? All the teams that do this shit, right, seem to always suck. OKC did not go about it this way. OKC,
yes, they did.
Hold on, because everybody very emotional. OKC got Shea from the Clippers because the Clippers are stupid. Then they got some draft picks, but none of this worked without Shea.
None of it worked without Jalen and Shet. It ain't just Shea. None of that worked without Jalen and Shet, which they got through the draft. Shet was number 2, a number 2 draft pick. They don't win without Shet.
Hold on, y'all.
We're not doing that. Y'all bring up the teams that do it, but y'all consistently bring up the teams that did it and have success.
I don't even know if I would have to look at whose draft picks was what, because the Clippers had a lot of assets from other teams when they made these trades. They had assets from Houston. They had assets from all these other teams. So I have no idea what draft picks are what, but at the end of the day, the teams that have Houston or OKC has been building winners for the longest. So when you talk about all these teams that are habitual losers like Utah, they always are tanking, so to speak. They're always tanking. It's crazy in the NFL. People have a guaranteed pick. If you're the worst team, you get the number 1 pick, and none of them tank.
When was the last year Donovan Mitchell played for Utah? When did he get traded?
4 years ago? Maybe 4 years ago.
2022.
So 4 years ago, right?
They had Donovan Mitchell for 4 years, right? They had Donovan Mitchell for 4 years, right? And Donovan Mitchell was like Donovan Mitchell was like the 12th pick in that draft. But for the most part, Utah is a losing franchise. Since they didn't have Karl Malone and John Stockton, they have not been a consistent winning team. They haven't. All these teams that are in the lot, even New Orleans, they got Zion. That was supposed to be the franchise changer. Everybody said Zion the best prospect since LeBron James. I remember I was there. I was alive. I was watching. Now you get out here and Zion will rather do this, that, and the third. We can't predict what all these people are going to be, right? We can't predict that. The Spurs don't try to habitually lose. Even when they got this pick this last time, the only reason they didn't make the play-in was because Wemby got hurt, and they still won over 30 games, and they were like, game or so out of the play-in. that lottery bullshit is bullshit.
Freeze.
Dallas was in the
San Antonio's
play-in.
not an
Dallas was
argument
in the
either.
play. Dallas
San
was in
Antonio's
the
not a valid
play-in and got
argument.
the number 1 pick.
What about Detroit, who actually tanked properly?
Y'all
Went
say
through
y'all
utter
bring
hell,
up
and now they're
Dallas
number
like
1
they didn't
seed.
sell their souls to
You
get the
want to
number
go the
1 pick.
Detroit route and be bad for 20,
They are
30
number
years?
1, Priest. They are number
Detroit
1 in
has
the East
Cade
right now. They
Cunningham,
expect the
who
West
they
to do
gave.
nothing by tanking.
Detroit has Cade Cunningham, who
I'm
they
so
tanked for, by
tired.
the way.
Y'all. Yeah, they
And
got
they
Cade
and they
Cunningham.
and
Detroit was bad for
they
damn
got
near
5
30
guys,
years.
right? 5 guys, right? First of all, y'all act like Brooklyn been better. We had KD, Kyrie, and Harden in 2019, where every team around us was horrible. Y'all acting like we wasn't winning at one point. We were. We was in the playoffs.
The whole point I'm making, and y'all can fight it all you want, is the
We haven't
tanking
been trashed since
situation.
like
The
2009.
tanking doesn't guarantee you shit, basically. If you start this tanking thing, and I hate to sit there and try to put losing in my young rookies' minds like that's the way to go. I want them to try to be a winning basketball team, even if it or compete at a high level, even if it don't work. But yeah, all this, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tank and I'm gonna lose and we're gonna be good in 2 years. That shit don't work, and it hasn't worked.
Y'all think y'all act like all the young players in the NBA. Hold on, John. Y'all act like all the young players in the NBA.
How bad was
Hold on.
Detroit? How bad
Look-
was Detroit? Because you like to break after Chauncey and them left. How long was Detroit bad before last year?
They were worse.
How long
I'm not
was
even
they
talking
bad?
about Chauncey. I'm going back to it when they had Blake Griffin.
Yeah,
when
and
Blake
Andre
Griffin on
Drummond.
that team
Blake
was
Griffin
leading
and
them
That was
Drummond.
still a
to
bad
win.
team that wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, but look
It
at them
doesn't
now,
matter. They
though,
were still
Priest.
above 500. He led
Like,
them to above. That's the last time they were good. But
yeah,
regardless of the
They
fact,
weren't
they
good with
they
Blake
still
Griffin.
start. Everything all starts for all of the bad teams, and this is what makes it hilarious. For all of the bad teams that y'all constantly point out, y'all constantly take out the teams that actually did it and it worked. For y'all acting like every team that has done
It
this,
did.
it's
It
been
did not.
bad
It
and it hasn't worked out.
So
That's
you
not true.
call what Detroit did doing it and it working.
They
they're
had
first. They're
5.
first in
All
the
right,
East
so
right now.
if you want to, let's use Detroit then. I'm going to 20 when they drafted Cade. Cool. So let's use Detroit.
No,
They got Cade.
no, do all the
They got
time
Cade.
before they drafted Cade that they
Their
sucked
rebuild
and
started
the
with
players
Cade.
didn't work. No, it didn't.
Yes, it
No, it
did.
didn't.
Started with Killian
No,
Hayes.
Yes,
They had a
Killian
draft-
Hayes just
they had
started
a
with.
lottery pick.
It
And
started with
Killian
Killian.
Hayes was after, if I'm not mistaken.
Nah, he was the year
Their
before.
first pick was Cade. And they tried getting Cade and Killian Hayes to see which one will work out. Obviously, we don't know the answer to that story. But the fact of the matter is, y'all forget the fact that the reason why Detroit was trash even after getting Cade was because Cade was injured. Because Cade was injured. Cade was injured his first year, and he got surgery his second year. Right?
So Priest, wait. So
they did not see
Priest.
Cade for most of his years.
So Priest, you want us to draft Kareem
In
Lopez because we got
2010,
So Priest.
Hold on.
So they drafted Ivy.
No, I just
They
wanna-
got
I wanna
Ivy
get
after.
Wait, one second. I just
They got Ron Holland.
One mic.
Hold on.
They got Jalen Duran. They got Holland.
Okay,
They
so
got
you-
Asort Thompson. They got
Y'all are
Ivy.
not.
All
You
of these
talking
players
about?
is
You
lottery
talking about?
pick.
Okay, so can I go now? Since you said
I
the
didn't
rebuild
finish.
started with Cade, you said no because I wasn't finished either. You said the rebuild started with Cade.
Killian was picked first.
That is cap.
Yeah, Killian was picked the year before.
In 2010, they drafted Greg Monroe in the top 10. The year after that, they drafted Brandon Knight in the top 10. The year after that, they drafted Andre Drummond in the top 10. The year after that, they drafted.
I'm not talking about the old. I'm talking about the new rules when the lottery changed. I'm not. That's when teams was bad and the number one team got the number one pick. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when the draft lottery changed, when the odds changed. I'm not going back to 2010. I'm talking about the new era when they changed it in 2019 and 3 worst teams had the same chances to get a number one pick at 14%. I'm not going back that far. That's what the disconnect is. The fact of the matter is they went and their draft started with Killian Hayes, cool, you can say that. But when they got Cade, that was the person they was pursuing as the face of their franchise. We got our guy. The past couple of years, they got Ivy. Then after that, they got Holland. Then after that, they got Asor Thompson. I think Jalen Duren was in that same draft. I'm not sure. They got their guys. Cade was injured for the past 2 seasons. He got injured. He was having a run his first year, then he got injured. Second year, he had to get surgery. They tried with Killian Hayes to see if that would work. It didn't work. When Cade got healthy, that's when they saw, okay, we might have something here. Then the last year, when they all put it together, they had a competent front office. They replaced Monty Williams. They got a good coach in Bickerstaff, and they changed their front office, which was high key the reason of not just having the talent, but also having a good front office and a good head coach. Once that switched around, then that's when you saw them not only last year, but this year, make the 6th seed with Cade fully healthy. Now he's having shooters around him. Now they put an actual roster around their franchise player. Now you see what can happen out of that when you have a good core, which I think we have with a good coach in Horty. I just think that he needs the talent. Detroit, realistically, I'm not counting 2010. If you're going all the way through 2019 to now, their losing hasn't been because they've been trashed. Realistically, their losing has been because Cade was injured. They didn't have their number 1 pick for like the past 2 seasons. If you have put a comparable roster around Cade, which I think he has now, I think now you're seeing the results of that. Same thing with Orlando. Same thing with San Antonio, which San Antonio, when they had DeRozan, they were good. They was making the playoffs. They had Leaf always talks about it on here. That when they tanked to get Wemby, they was good in the beginning of the season. What did they do? They traded Potel. They traded DeRozan. They traded Murray. They took that team apart and they tanked heavily to get Wemby. Now we all know Wemby was going there, yes, but they still tanked to get him. They were trash after Tim Duncan retired. Respectfully, they were trash for those past 2 years. Then they got Wemby, and everything started from there with Wemby. They got Castle.
They had one of
They
the
tanked,
longest tenors.
realistically.
They had one of the longest tenors going to the playoffs, the Spurs, before that whole thing with Duncan and them going for Wemby.
And when Duncan retired, they was trash.
Yeah.
So
Priest,
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
They were trash for
Wait,
two.
wait,
They were
Breezy got to
trash
read
for a couple
the
of
super
years.
chat. Wait, Breezy got to read the super chat.
Let me get to the super chat. G Wiz 911. He a member on the page. Shout out to you. Thank you. He says tanking is a loser's mentality. How can a team build a winning culture if they don't value wins? Now, I'll just to advocate what you're saying, I agree. I agree that Cam Johnson did make a point of this, and not that I agreed with what he was saying verbatim to word for word, but I get what it means to have a winning mentality about trying to win. Now, remind you, he was with Booker when they was a bad team, and he was with Booker when they went to the championship. So I do value what he said, and he was against a tanker's mentality. And he was kind of saying some of the same thing. Y'all won 16?
Breeze, I'm not necessarily
16 bars, bro. I thought I heard a snake.
You know what's so interesting?
Nah, Breeze, I'm not
he only
saying that
says all
he-
that because he got paid because Bridges came with him. He would have gotten paid if it was just
Breeze,
him.
I'm not even necessarily saying Priest is wrong and guys going out there to lose. I'm not saying that at all. Like realistically, Jordy is going to go out there to win, and that's what I've been trying to tell people all the time. My only thing is what people tend to misconstrue is that the rookies that we're getting and the rookies that are playing, they're not going out there to lose. They're going out there to play good. The only problem with that,
you're
they're going up. Hold on, they're going up against teams. They're going up against teams as a whole, as a collective, that are better than us. Nolan, Yegor, and all of them is not going out there and saying, "Hey guys, let's lose tonight so we can get a number one pick." That's not what they're going out there and doing. They're playing their hearts out. I'm not against that, but realistically, they're not at the point yet where they can lead this team to wins consistently. They're rookies. Same thing will happen with if we get AJ or Boozer or Darren Peterson. They're still going to be rookies. Yes, we got our friend. We will have our franchise player, but it still would take a whole lot of collective and roster building around them to make it a coherent team as to where AJ or whoever you get in the draft will be able to produce. I'm not saying if you get these guys, we back on the map. Yes, it would be cool to have a franchise player. But at the end of the day, there's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot of team construction. There's a lot of free agency. It's a lot of if Forty is going to put these pieces together, these guys in the right way. But as a Nets fan base, as the Nets franchise, as the Nets players, and all of us are heavy on this year, yes, it would be nice to have a franchise level talent on this roster that we can look at and be like, that's a guy we can build around. That's a guy that can be an all-star. That's a guy that can make first team All-NBA. That's a guy that can represent Brooklyn on Team USA. These are the talents that Brooklyn has been lacking that we want on this team.
You can't.
That's like telling the rest of the team that you ain't really shit.
LM, you know what's so good about you, LM? You actually have a GM's mentality. You see what I see. Like, you understand all the different perspectives of what it takes to build a legitimate team.
Because you got to think about it. If I'm on a team, I'm not waiting for somebody to come and save me.
Jamal. So look at what. But Jamal, look at what Jamal. If that's the case, why are we not above 500 right now due to our rookies? I'm not disputing the fact that you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. You are right. But the fact of the matter is, the rookies on this roster is not good enough for us to be winning.
How do we know that? When we
if you're talking about building confidence, that's not really helping them. If you're saying like, I want to get better than you, I want to get somebody that's better than you.
What do you mean? That's if anything.
What were we saying in the beginning of the season? What were we saying in the beginning of the season? That the rookies were not being, the confidence wasn't being built in the rookies. When you look at Washington, when you look at all these things, Trey Johnson and these guys were getting to play. Derek Queen was getting to start. All these players were getting to play when our players were not. We were sending players out to the G League. We were doing all kinds of things. So we didn't know what we had. And to be honest, we still don't until we get these guys on the court consistently. I don't like players being sat out games versus Houston and all these things when I've seen them compete versus good teams. I don't like that.
But Priest,
they're going through that.
Not just when I've seen the rookies compete versus good teams. I don't sit here when we sit here and we talk about all this tanking bullshit, like it's a key. When like I said, everybody can point out their little whatever. You can say that you were right about such and such or this and that. When at the end of the day, we all have seen that if these teams, right, if these teams don't doggone build winning culture around these players, that's when you get the Denvers and the OKCs. It ain't all about or the Indianas, because we point out one blueprint like that. Halliburton was a number 12 pick that Indiana traded for to get to the finals because he was a great playmaker, et cetera, et cetera. We sit here and try to act like it's only one way to get it done, and that's not true.
Priest,
my biggest issue. And that's my biggest issue.
Here's the thing, though. You got a winning month of December, right? Jordy got to let the rookies shine in limited roles, but they were playing more as far as minutes go. And MPJ Clax were doing their thing. The rookies had got to be part of it. Because let me just finish. The rookies got to be part of a winning month. Okay, that's the culture, right? Jordy wants to build. That was what November, December for. It did take Jordy until the mid-end of November to actually start playing these rookies because we were on Twitter saying he should do that. So that was Jordy's wasted opportunities right there. You could have 2 whole months for these rookies to grow and learn the roles. a lot more than they are right now. But guess what? Now we're in the business part of this. This is January into February 5th. We got to start making these tough decisions because we're trying to protect the lottery pick. We're trying to have future flexibility, cap space flexibility, and add more assets. So, Priest, I agree with you that you don't want the rookies to feel like they're part of something that's losing, but this is the business side of things where we got to be a little cutthroat to get to the future, and the rookies will still be a part of that. They're going to have more expanded roles. They're going to struggle a lot, but they're going to grow a lot at the same time, going through that adversity. That's what me and Ellen are talking about. This is when you don't need the MPJs and these vets to take up all the minutes. They had that for 2 months. Now it's time to turn the page. This is what good business GMs do. And LM, you should have been a GM, man, because this is not your calling right now. Being a GM could have been your calling, my friend. But that's what the point of the emphasis here is. This is about making those tough decisions to getting a better future. The evaluation period is over now. Now it's about who's on my team, who's about to get off my team.
So So what you're trying to say is, you feel like you can guarantee that what you're talking about doing is a winning formula when you cannot. You cannot guarantee me. Hold on.
I don't think he's saying that.
Hold on. We could be the worst team in the league, and you cannot guarantee. Matter of fact, and let's be real. It ain't. And when you're talking about the lottery, when you're talking about rookies, there are no guarantees, especially in the NBA. I've seen number one picks flop. Look, we still waiting on Zion to be whatever they said, but the best, whatever. It ain't no guarantees in this game.
I just think y'all take the pessimistic route when it comes to it.
You said it was.
That's what I think it is. I just think y'all take the pessimistic route when it comes to it.
But when you talk about when you got a head coach that is trying to build the right thing, you got the right players or if he has his right players that he feels like he can win with, right? I'm looking more towards that. I'm not looking towards trying to lose my way to the top, because I don't think that's realistic. And that's just in my opinion on it, it's just gonna be different than y'all's. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I've been watching this shit long enough to know that shit what the fan base is trying to get done, it ain't always realistic.
Your way might be wrong. My way might be wrong. It doesn't matter to me. Realistically, I just think most Net fans have different ways of going about it. It doesn't mean we're enemies. It doesn't mean It doesn't mean we're enemies. It doesn't mean it got to result in a fight. I just see it as a different way. John see it as a different way. Tree sees it as a different way. But the end of the day is we all want this team to win, regardless.
Right, but you know why? Hold on. You know why I lean with the MPJ not being here? It's not because it's the usage rate. That's why I understand what the Denver Nuggets was doing. You want to make him the third, fourth option, even if he's good enough to be the second option. But you don't want to overly do his usage rate, because that's how he get to play 77 games, 81 games. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like they monitor his minutes too. He's just, you know what I mean? I guess for lack of better words, more durable than a Cam Thomas. But
I'm not with the trade MP. That's just a good deal.
They monitor all of the players' minutes. So
I think MPJ's usage rate is irrelevant because he's not he's one of the better off-ball players in the NBA. So I don't feel like his usage rate is ever a problem. He's going to get his shots up. Even in Denver, Jokic would rather pass than shoot. Jamal Murray was the guy that wanted to take all the shots. So Jokic did stuff that he had to do, but the injury stuff that I saw from MPJ, especially last year, had nothing to do with his back and nothing to do with his usage. He injured his shoulder on some kind of freak accident. So I think all the MPJ injury stuff is kind of reaching a little bit, because
it's not reaching, because you got to think about this. It's age and timeline. Right now, realistically, the way he's playing, he should be on a championship team that's about to win a title, realistically. And for the Nets, if you're going to try to make him a part of that, then your window literally has to be 2 to 3 years, no more than 2. So if you keep him, that's where me Breezy agreed on the short-term window. If you keep him, you have to make sure it's a short-term extension, lines up when the rookie's about to get paid, but you have to have a superstar either on this team or in this upcoming draft. You said that tanking is not a key to success. I agree. It's a roadmap to potential success. Yeah, there's some fault lines, there's some misdirection, but it is a roadmap to potentially get to where you got to go. And ultimately, we all agree that this draft pick is a main priority. The rookies got to be part of something extra this year. They got to be part of a winning month, which rarely happens on taking teams. We're probably right now the one taking team that does the opposite of any taking team I've ever seen in NBA history. And it hasn't worked in our favor last year. Maybe this year it does because we're around the 4th or 5th odds right now. If we could stay there and make these business decisions, I think we'll get a top pick. And if you keep MPJ, he could be a part of long-term formula or short-term formula. But you need to have a cornerstone guy or you're getting nowhere fast. That's all me Elmer is saying.
What I will say is this: the formula of the 3 bigs in the front, yeah, we got to keep that. So that's why I like Caleb Wilson. I like entertainment.
Breeze, you the one that said you like AJ DeBosta on this roster.
Wait,
no,
what?
No, I said it.
No.
Bro, I said I didn't want him taking
AJ DeBosta. Yeah, look,
I didn't
man.
say I
All
didn't
this,
want him
you did. I don't say. But when we talk about it, y'all.
Hold on. Let me say this real quick. What I was saying about AJ LM was more of him and MPJ will be playing the same position, or he would be taking the 2 guard spot. And it's all about need. But I do think that AJ would. It's like it's hard to ignore MPJ's back injury history, even though it's not affecting him now. It's just always in the back of my mind, like how sustainable is it? So
right.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? I want AJ. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. If he had to take Cam Thomas spot at the 2 guard, so be it. You know,
you don't necessarily gotta beat a 2.
No, that's a cheat code to have him at the 2. If you have him in MPJ, that's a cheat code at 2 and 3.
Can I ask you? So every when we talk about the draft lottery, right? Why did the NBA change the rules of the draft lottery?
They're changing the rules again.
To be sly.
Huh?
They're changing the rules again, by the way.
Yeah, they was being obvious. I seen the it was being too obvious that what their intention was is like taking the entertainment out of it, like you know, being too business minded. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not even letting the players on your team compete for real. It left a stain on basketball, if you ask me. You know.
A lot of teams weren't selling tickets, so that's why they had to
They definitely. I do think that there should be something. And again, we can start the podcast with this content. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna clip the show up, but yeah, we could.
You finna close it out?
Yeah, I'm finna close out.
All right, well, let me answer my question real quick.
Okay.
The reason the NBA changed the draft lottery rules was to de-incentivize tanking. They don't like tanking. They did not want anyone to tank. That's why they changed the lottery odds. That's why when you see a Utah or a Washington be the worst team and get the 4th or the 5th pick, et cetera, it's you see a Dallas Maverick team who tried to win, who Anthony Davis came back so they can try to win, get the number 1 pick. You see what I'm saying? We can talk about conspiracy theories and all this shit. Hold on. We can talk about conspiracy theories and all this shit. No. What I'm saying is that's so that
if Luka does not get traded to the Lakers, they don't get that.
If Luka don't get traded, they probably go to the finals.
Exactly, and they don't get that pick.
But still,
they don't get the number 1 pick.
That's a nasty example. That whole LA and Dallas, that shit was. That was nasty work, man.
First of all, if Luka was still in Dallas, they would have been on the playoffs. So they wouldn't have even been there.
The whole point that I'm making is the NBA, and until they change it again, the reason that they did change it was to de-incentivize tanking. Because we're the only, hold on. We're the only league, right? The NBA, that fan bases try to freaking lose for a lottery ticket.
Terrible.
That's not even true.
What other
Hold
one
on.
does? What
I'm
other
Hold on.
one
Hold on.
does? Because I guarantee you, when I went out there and I watched the Cleveland Browns last week, wouldn't it have been more beneficial for them to lose so that they could try to get their quarterback of the future or whatever the case may be? But they went out there and beat Pittsburgh because of pride. We're the only league now when they lose games, it's because they suck. But they still go out there and compete. But when we talk like we don't want these players to compete, and that is a bullshit mindset. And I
Hold
and
on,
I
hold on,
just
hold on, hold on,
that's
yeah,
how I
hold on. And on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, yo, listen, man, to tank or not to tank, that is the question. We're gonna continue discussing this, but at a later time. Easy. You can start the show with me next show. I heard we played today. We played the Wizards today, so I'm gonna be right back at this for sure. Shout out to Brooklyn LM, shout out to everything Brooklyn Nets John, shout out to Big Pre, shout out to J Noel 24, shout out to Jamal the franchise, shout out to DJ Guerrero, shout out to Gary that was on the panel, shout out to, you know what I'm saying, all the Nets fans, we the best fans. Shout out to the whole chat, you know what I mean? Subscribe, man. Creme de la creme, run tell a Nets fan friend. We're gonna be back with more content really soon.